everyone. It is time for me to dive into a series called The Midnighters, or I guess just Midnighters, by Scott Westerfield, who also did the Uglies, Pretties, and Specials series. And I believe that this is the first one because it is titled The Secret Hour, and basically the Secret Hour is the sort of the key to this entire book and this entire series. So without further ado, let me explain a little bit about this book, and what you should probably know going into it if you decide to read it. Basically, it deals with sort of mystical type-esque powers. Powers that are either sort of mysterious and sort of foreign to our world of reality. And in doing so, it creates this time, the secret hour. Now, what you need to know is basically the secret hour is a time of day where everything becomes frozen, or like time stands still for an hour in this secret time zone, or this secret hour. And there are some people who are able to walk around and observe their surroundings within the secret hour without being frozen or paused. And these people are called basically the Midnighters. And this basically is within a certain location that this secret hour takes place, and that is in Bixby, Oklahoma. And that's basically all you need to understand by sort of what the secret hour is, and that these Midnighters are just people, and in this case just teenagers, who are able to be in this secret hour, are able to go about and roam around and do stuff within the secret hour when no one else can, because everybody's frozen, because nobody lives or can live within that secret hour. So that's basically the gist of the sort of kind of world that we're dealing with here. And there's also some dark forces called the Darklings, and you'll see how they sort of play into the plot. And basically, the story follows these ordinary teenagers who happen to be able to have this ability. And also, since if you are a Midnighter and you can go in this secret hour, you are somehow gifted with a power. And so basically it sort of opens up with somebody that's new who does not know anything about the secret hour or any of that stuff, and she happens to be a Midnighter. And the main character's name's Jessica, and basically she discovers, because she moves to Bixby, and basically once she moves there she realizes that she can go outside and have everything be paused. At one point in the way beginning, she wakes up in the middle of the night, and then the rain is like literally frozen. It doesn't move because nothing moves within that time zone, but she can. And then she sort of realizes her abilities, and the high school that she ends up going to, she realizes that there's kids also within that high school who also have this ability, and they kind of try to sort of maybe guide her as a way for her to find her powers. And it basically plays out itself like a teenage novel. I was noticing a lot of comparisons with Twilight, but not necessarily. I don't think that necessarily encompasses sort of a negative thing. In particular, we do kind of see these. I think what teenage novels try to do is that they try to have certain kinds of how do you say? I don't want to say if they are cliches or not, but it seems like a lot of teen novels really do this. A lot of teen novels, they always have the new girl. Like, literally. It's almost like a lot of teen novels that I look at, they're just, it always has that. It always has that, the new girl who comes in to another location. Similar in this book, she's coming from Chicago all the way to Oklahoma and starting a new life and a new school and new friends and such. Similar to Twilight, how Bella moves to Forks, Washington. There's also sort of a similarity with, again, this whole idea of getting into sort of the supernatural. But what I like about the main character is the fact that she doesn't try to push the ordinary things and ordinary people who maybe do not have these abilities that she has, like going into that secret hour with these other teenagers who can. She doesn't remove them from her life. She likes to have that interaction with them. And I think having that sort of balance of, yeah, I do have this life that's, it's in the secret hour, but I also have, a normal teenage life. And I'm not going to shut people down. And I really, really liked that. I often felt that was a really good approach. But Twilight doesn't do that. Twilight decides to take it another direction, where the character mainly focuses on trying to get into the vampire world, instead of trying to associate with people who are just normal and may not know about vampires or any of those kinds of experiences. I really liked how she develops a relationship with someone who doesn't have those powers. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really, really good on the author's part to do that, because it makes the character, I think, more likable and more identifiable. Because I think if even I were to develop certain powers, I wouldn't necessarily shun other people from my life, or not really pay attention to them. So, again, I think this is what makes this book very, very strong in that sense. And that's why I liked her character. But as far as, like, traits and things like that, I didn't really find the main character all that interesting. But I think there's a point to this, and I think teenage novels try to kind of do this. I think they try to make the main character not so interesting so that we can be that character. So that we can find ourselves getting lost into being this person, this main character, rather than having us say, oh, that's so-and-so, and having to go along with a particular character. Instead we say kind of to ourselves, oh, it is somebody, but it's somebody that I could fill myself in with, and kind of get more, I guess, absorbed into the world that it's trying to show, or that the author is trying to convey. Because for the most part, I don't think the main character is all that interesting. And she doesn't really, because again, the secret hour, these teenagers, these midnighters, they're able to have powers. They have certain powers, and we don't really discover her power till towards the end. And then all these other characters, like side characters in particular, they still get a lot of time and a lot of aspects to them as well. So it does try to make the side characters somewhat more prominent, I think, which is, I think, what teenage novels should try to do, instead of maybe just focusing on the main character. But just very cool. I just really liked that aspect. I liked the fact that she is open to both worlds, and that she doesn't really shun people away. There is sort of a romance going on, but it's not, you feel it's genuine, and you don't feel like it's forced. Really think that that's that's really a good aspect to this book. Another thing that I thought worked as well was how, you know, you still have this similar thing of how a teenager has sort of this double life. She has the life of the secret hour and then every other part of the day. And how her parents, they sort of react more, in a sense, I think, like normal parents would under certain circumstances. Like at one point she's grounded, and there are these kinds of things that she deals with in particular that are kind of more within the realms of normal teenage life. So yeah, for the most part, I thought the side characters were cool. I thought that the story was interesting. I kind of liked how it's not really trying to do something that's already been done a million times before. Like the vampire stuff, it's just been done so many times. It's just been so many times just done that it's kind of refreshing to see a novel that does something different and tries to get into a completely kind of different world and a different kind of supernatural order that deals with the fact that you can go out when everything else is paused and you can do certain things, and then there's certain things within this world that are not within our realm. So it's a good, I think it's this book, since I believe it is the first one, is a good start, I think, to this series, because again it has 3 books apparently. I don't know if it has more, but for the most part, if you liked the Scott Westerfield's Field's other works, in particular the Uglies, Pretties, and Special series, I can probably guarantee you that you'll find this appealing. I liked how it deals with things that are just a little bit more on the realistic side, while at the same time encompassing a lot of irrational, supernatural kinds of things within it. It's very enjoyable overall. I mean, I don't really have any necessary complaints by it. It does move sort of at a fast pace. Again, this book is very, very short. If you just want a quick read, a read that's not so long, this definitely would be. It is kind of a book for you. If you like series, again, this is supposed to be like a Midnighter series. Then this will definitely appeal probably to you. I might try to see if I can find the other 2. I only saw 2 other ones, and I thought that this one was the first, so this is why I took this one. I believe it is. I think it plays itself out like it is the first one, but I could be wrong. But I really like the side characters' interactions, and you kind of see how they're trying to maybe build up these characters a bit, because again, this is sort of like an intro, I believe, into everything. So again, Midnighter's series, The Secret Hour, really worth considering. For some reason she looks like Kristen Stewart to me. I have no idea why, but I really like how it's sort of different, and how it takes things on a more different approach than maybe some other teenage novels, but in still encompassing those things that we would probably see if somebody were to that would be a teenager would come into when they have to deal with something that is supernatural. Like lying to your parents and and having, somebody be the new girl, and having, everybody sort of kind of hounding up on you, being the new person in school. You have the whole idea of how it's a totally like different town. It's totally a different atmosphere for the main character. Again, it kind of adds those things that we've seen in teenage novels time and time again. But I think even though it does have those things, it still has a very how it executes itself, I think, is good. Is a decent novel, and a decent start, for the most part. But I think that's really all I can say about this book. Any questions, comments, concerns, more than happy to answer them. And just to say, by the way, the other characters include Rex, Des, Melissa, and Jonathan. And all those characters are also Midnighters. And sort of how they react to Jessica sort of discovering the fact that she is a Midnighter and she is one of them. It's very interesting to read up on that, because each one kind of has their own different take on her. So I think it's a good start to a interesting series. I look forward to what they come up with, hopefully in the next book, if I can get a hold of it. Yeah, I think that's really all I can say. Any questions, comments, concerns? More than happy to answer them. Until next time,